had the police call him one afternoon and said, "Hey, is Bob Johnson in your astrophysics class?" He's like, "Well, yeah, he's here." "Well, we're going to come arrest him during the final exam. He's been skipping out on alimony for the last 2 years, and we haven't been able to find him, but we figure he's going to be there in room 111 at 7 p.m. for your file." He's like, "No, you're not." He's like, "Well, yeah, we are." They came in and just hauled this guy off during his final exam. He's like, "Can I just finish my exam?"
No, they don't care.
No. So guys, as you can see, I'm still in the process of writing this last exam. And I think I've got most of the questions for Chapter 5 nailed. But it's a good one, man. I like reading Lovins.
I don't like reading every word of Lovins.
Well, no. You can't. It gets pretty dense, and sometimes it gets a little repetitive, to be honest. You kind of just same little preachy, optimistic thing. But it's very level-headed. It's very clear, concise, quantitative. There's no.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a great little power versus energy primer.
I know.
This one.
I know. I put a question in there.
Yeah.
Power versus energy question.
Have you ever eaten one of these?
What is it?
It's a little hitchhiker thing that stick on you.
No.
You open them up, there's seeds like sunflower seeds.
Huh.
Not bad.
Tasty. It's one way to control noxious weeds. Just eat them.
Grow them for edibility, like sesame seeds. Put them on top of the bud.
Just
I think those
with
are noxious.
with the stickers, you could just stick it right in the bun. You wouldn't have to.
No, the stickers don't taste good.
Oh.
The stickers kind of taste
Oh.
like dust.
Maybe the granola types would eat that though.
I'm getting this guy out to be a market for it.
I'm trying to think.
My uncle freaking had, I don't know how much henbane he had growing there. He thought it was a flower.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. I like it. And I was like, dude, all these farmers are gonna come and hang you.
Yeah.
What do you mean hang me? I said, that's one of the 7 noxious weeds that they're trying to kill. When you see them spraying along the highway, that's what they spray for. One of those. He goes, no. Yeah.
I should be a better botanist too. I don't really know what's going on with that stuff.
Well, the only reason I knew about it is because the horses will get into the henbane and eat it, and then it'll kill them.
Oh really?
They'll actually eat it if they're hungry, yeah.
All right, so how many questions we got here? 17 questions. Kind of random. All right, so here, I'll just navigate to the reds. That's good enough. It was a rainforest, but
Was it a rainforest?
But yeah, that's fine. It's a jungle. It's same difference. Blanks for 3 more. Watch, I can even put it right here. How do you spell thrumming again?
I copied it right out of his lead, because I read, what was it, 155 and 156?
Well, it's now on the official list. A thrumming jungle is one of the valid answers.
What pages was that on?
You know what I like most about that little comparison is that
They inhabit a thrumming jungle of rolling hills.
There you go.
Pipes, storage tanks, furnaces, cracking towers, mountains, ore, and coking coal.
yeah. So he's calling the industrial complex the thrumming jungle. The question more I was asking is what natural system is he comparing it to, and it was the rainforest, but that's fine. But what I was going to say, though, guys, is what impresses me most about, and this is something, I was just kind of sitting there at my desk one day in grad school, and this epiphany occurred to me as well. completely independent of Lovin's, but all of the manufacturing that nature does happens at ambient temperature. That's, I mean, locally, it can't, not every chemical reaction just can happen at an arbitrarily low temperature, obviously. That's part of the reason that organisms are warm-blooded, so that the chemistry occurs at about the right rate. But the fact that biology is able to, nanotechnologically, not technologically, but nanoscopically, molecularly assemble these things with no extra heat. Well, biology is the what's inside the organism. Ecology is what's outside the organism.
But the ecology puts the biology together.
Sure, yeah, the ecology allows different biologies to exist, but the fact that all this is happening at just room temperature or air temperature is just phenomenal. I mean, it's mind blowing.
Well, today, I mean, you can go to the UC Center, and I know Ray Calloway, because I said talk to him.
Oh yeah.
Before I asked him to sit on my committee, we would meet up and have lunch and drink coffee and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
we really drove information.
Yeah, I love Ray too.
We sit there and say, I don't believe the global warming debate, and simply I could prove it by sitting right here. He pointed at this tree, he said, see that tree right there? I said, yeah, he said, it's probably one of the oldest living organisms, it was alive, but it evolved before everything else in this room. He said, and I'll bet you that thing evolved when the planet was about 10 degrees hotter.
Oh, sure. Well, so right there, he actually confirmed the fact that he believes, if you will, the planet's getting hotter.
Well, it's not getting hotter, it's been hotter. It's not global warming, it's the cycle.
Oh, right.
Because, I mean, you can look out here right now, Glacier Lake, Missoula. That shows you that the planet at one time was a lot colder.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think anyone's going to debate that. I mean, the planet was also jackload hotter when it was, when massive, balls of rock were colliding to form. Yeah. But I think the cause for concern, and even the what's the there's a book I read a few years ago. It's just called Cool It, by a Swedish or Finnish scientist. And he basically said, okay, so maybe the climate's changing a little bit because of natural or anthropogenic forces, but the reason you're seeing all of the news about it is because so many people build their house on the coast or have their trailer in the middle of a tornado alley, et cetera, et cetera. And so the tornado is probably going to come through anyway. It just happens to be that now there's a person there where there wasn't before.
The tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it. Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to second paragraph, second column.
Yeah.
A week later, far away, imagine you're gliding silently through another kind of jungle.
Oh.
I looked,
Oh.
I read it, and I read it twice, and I
Oh.
was like, this has got to be harder than just the third sentence.
Thrumming jungle. No, it's good. It's good. Industrial ecology, I think that's right, isn't it? Maybe you just put quotes on there. I didn't have them on there.
Oh, yeah. There was,
That's all right. This is the pleasure. This is the pleasure that I have.
well, he's quoted it from somewhere too.
I know, but you can see the amount of pleasure I get from grading.
Yeah, exactitudes. I mean, we're playing horseshoes here.
I know, man. Yeah, Moodle ain't Google with the. It doesn't. Moodle doesn't have the "did you mean" function.
Or the and or function.
It has the and/or.
Has booleans.
It's got booleans. I just put in the or. It doesn't have the fuzzy logic.
Not the IA.
you're 2 for 2 so far. What did I have on this guy? Let's see. Man, I am not liking this new pop-up here. Wait, where's my correct answer? Stupid thing. When natural gas production prices dropped in the early 80s.
That was a nice little infograph where
Oh, it went up. Yeah, it went up. That's fine. Yeah, it went up.
So put the drought.
it grew,
It-
rose.
Yeah, that was,
I could tell that just by reading it, but I knew there was some sort of,
it was a little surprising. I was looking at that figure. It showed the two. One had little dots.
chapter 5.
One was dotted.
I don't know.
No, it should have been chapter 3 or 4.
Yeah, but it turned on a dime. Was
Yeah, I'll buy that.
okay, here it is.
130, page 130.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is expected. So natural gas prices dropped in the early 80s.
Christ.
What happened to the energy consumed? It went up.
Then
It's got-
stagnated
it's
and
got-
rose for another 15 years. And then down underneath the infographic, it says, the impressive drop in U.S. chemical industry energy intensity turned on a dime.
All right, man, you're nailing it. In what year? It's 1900. Oh, maybe it is. What figure is that? I might have just had a little numerical dyslexic moment on that one.
That was, okay. CMEX.
Cement getting water today on the way over here.
Oh yeah. Got to keep it cool. Keep that cement cool.
It's like, humanity frustrates me.
You know, but what are you going to do with that water otherwise, Adam? Just leave it in the tank somewhere? I mean, come on.
It's there to be used.
Yeah.
There's plenty of it.
Cement.
Cement used per dollar of GDP peaked in the 1920s. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah,
Page 132.
132, thank you.
And that's why cement used per dollar of GDP peaked in
1920s. What did I put? I'm getting bad, man. I'm getting bad.
Really bad.
We left phone numbers too, right?
Even yesterday, I was writing a lowercase b, and I wrote it as a d. I've had that problem since first grade.
That's why I was like, here, so I read this, I read that, I read the other thing. You have those little GRE questions. I don't think you need to do it, it's just you're wanting us to rise from the level that we're at.
Thanks, man. Thanks for.
Did you take the jerk recently again?
No, I doubt I'll ever do that again.
I took it twice, like, how many years ago, 15 years ago. Hated it.
Do you have a master's?
No.
Yeah.
I tried to get into grad school over here once or twice. Just didn't get accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the whole experience. Like, I was just like, really? But if this is not good enough, then,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go do something else.
I had a struggle too. I mean, I guess I applied at 3 or 4 places. The only place I got in was the University of Michigan. I didn't get in at Stanford. MIT was kind of out of the question, you know, again.
Did the undergrad at MIT?
Yeah.
But just the GRE, just the whole experience of it is just really,
Too much,
it's just stressful.
too much drinking in DC, money making down the road.
Standardized testing, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always kind of liked the standardized tests.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. My dad had me take the SAT like starting in 7th or 8th grade. You know, you can just sign up and take it. So I just started taking the dang thing, and so you just get used to it. And it was kind of a, it ended up just kind of being just a fun challenge, you know, just to, so let me take this thing. 'Cause
No
it,
wonder you didn't start making designs out of little bubbles.
makes you think I didn't. Process redesign using electron beams. What?
I thought about putting that too for a little while.
Is that in there somewhere? It might be.
And then I found the biomimicry. I was like, nah, but it
The
wasn't.
bio what?
This was a question for Adam, actually.
Might allow us to make tough materials at low temperatures.
I'm sure you're right as well.
Well, the biomimicry didn't. What was the last one? Do roughly 12% enters use textile, carb, paint, and other use huge gas fires or infrared ovens. There's more efficient ways using electron beams targeted at and heating only the solvent and the paint. Similar electronic beams can sterilize food, drink containers, medical products, or consider mixing, which uses several minerals.
Where are you reading?
Okay, that's just right before biomimicry, that's process redesign.
On page what?
It's 150.
This book is so dense. Frito-Lay, process redesign. Here we go. Is it really necessary to heat up the entire auto body just to dry the paint?
Yes.
Well, maybe now. Biomimicry, glimpses of the art of the possible, the natural world. Effective, but inelegant. Yeah, I like this. It says, a third method is to grind it up and feed it to chickens. Hours later, it re-emerges in eggshells stronger than Portland cement. If we were as smart as chickens, we'd have mastered this sophisticated low-temperature technology. I'll give you credit for that one.
See, it doesn't talk about anything about heat, and that's why I was. What design process? It's a redesign process. Redesigned. So that would, I don't know.
Oh, I got you, yeah, process redesign. That's fine.
Materials, to make tough materials at lower temperatures.
Well, and the chicken thing I just read, I mean, the low-temperature chicken, I mean, the chicken's a lot cooler than 2500 F, where we're making cement, so.
What? Speaking of cement, what,
So you say use chickens? No. What's,
isn't there some sort of pollutant in cement, like lime, it takes lime to make cement,
yeah, I mean, there's some lime in it, but what about it?
because when I was floating the river the other day, there's a cement plant.
Oh.
before you get down to Reserve.
Huh.
And they've just dumped cement right over into the river for years. It's just,
You know, I wonder, is it, I almost,
Powdered mix stuff?
it's not Mike Strawbridge's place, is it? Because, I should almost maybe not record this, but I know somebody who's like witnessed some sketchy, I mean, I shouldn't say witnessed, taken part in what appears to be some, illegal restructuring of the bank over there. It might be the same spot, over by,
well, I'm gonna take my video camera down over there and from across the river and video it.
yeah.
You know, I don't know that they should be.
I could let you talk to my buddy. I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
It's not necessarily restructuring of the bank is what it is they show up with the big cement mixers.
Mhm.
Probably has a little bit of cement in the bottom of it.
Oh.
Well, here, let's just dump it right over the bank here, back it up, dump it over, we can clean it out quick, we're done. But
That's-
now that the water's down, you have a ledge of cement that comes out probably 15 or 20 feet.
Yeah.
And you can see down in underneath of it.
Mm. I've met a guy who was pouring a foundation up on Missoula Avenue there, that little cut through. If you're going up the Rattlesnake, there's a little cut through, just a one lane jobby. And, he had the big old cement mixer there, the tubing and poured. And I said, how close did you get on that pour? He's like, well, within a $1 bill thickness. And I said, so how'd you, how much waste do you have in your mixer? He's like, not much. And I'm like, I don't know if that means like a gallon or a pickup truck's worth or whatever, because it could be the same guy just shooting across town right by the river.
In the river.
Well, I think there's probably worse things to put in there, but I don't know.
Yeah, dioxins, furan. I was more worried about the arsenic that's been in it for years.
Yeah. If you look, go look at like the Seine in Paris, and the whole thing is concrete. And the same thing, the Potomac in D.C. It's just been concretified, and
Did they do that to stabilize the bank?
yeah, you got your high dollar real estate right there. You don't want that going in the river and just eroding and. So I don't know. I'd be surprised if most cities don't end up that way.
They're not pouring it in, just pouring it into the river when it's wet.
True.
They're curing it.
Sure,
first.
absolutely.
Cured.
Yeah.
And this is, you can tell this was basically, it looks like molten lava that they poured over the grid,
Wow.
over the edge and flowed down and hit the water and cooled and.
Yeah. Huh. Weirdo.
I don't know.
All right. All right, Gary, you got one more here. Nice. Cha-ching. Tension members. Do you guys get what that is in general?
Instead of holding it like this.
Yeah.
It's supporting it like.
Yeah, I wish I had my little notepad here, but let me.
Like a tension bridge, like Golden Gate.
Yeah. So this is a theory, if you will, that was popularized by a. I didn't know it was Carlos Castaneda. Anyway, there's some molecular biologists who have put forth the tensegrity model for how organisms and even cells maintain their structure. And so what you can see here, these 3 green members are in compression, similar to your bones in your body. Like your bones support compression, whereas the red members are in tension, similar to your ligaments. And what it should be relatively obvious is that the compression members have to be bigger around to support the same amount of load, right? So if you imagine a let's say you've got a rope hanging from some strut overhead, and that rope can support like 1 ton, 2,000 pounds. Now, that same rope, you can just make it longer and longer. You could double its length, triple its length, and it's still going to support that 2,000 pounds. Now, do the same thing with concrete, and the taller you get it to support that same 2,000 pounds, it's going to have to get fatter and fatter and fatter. Not only because it's supporting its own weight, but it's going to buckle, and things, molecules. It's funny because you think like two atoms next to each other it's going to be much harder to push them through each other in compression than it is to pull them apart in tension. But the failure, let me just show you. Yeah, so here's a pretty good one. So what ends up happening, this whole structure is in compression, right? It's being pushed down from the top, pushed up from the bottom, and what happens, rather than just it shears like this. It shears at a 45-degree angle. And so that's the problem with compression failure. The atoms start to move past each other. They slip past each other in this fashion. Whereas in tension, eventually they'll just snap apart. But
He got that from Don Juan Castaneda.
who?
Don Juan was the guy that, when he went into Mexico
Yeah.
and was looking for the shaman, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, I don't know.
He started asking around, and Don Juan was the shaman that found him.
Oh.
And so the first time, he was like, well, I want to know about this, you want to know about shamans? So they took him, Don Juan said, okay, I'll introduce you to one.
Oh.
So he took him out, the real shaman took him out into the sticks in the desert, and there was this guy sitting in this little shack, and he brought out like these 6 peyote buttons and Castaneda 6 peyote buttons.
Oh.
So he remembers being like a dog.
Huh.
And so he woke up the next morning naked out in the sticks.
Huh.
And he went back, and Don Juan, at this time, he didn't know that Don Juan was the guy he was looking for, but he was just playing peasant, And he kept telling him, these are the other guys. When he come back, he said, well, you ate the buttons, and, it's surprising. I've never seen one man eat that many before in my whole life. And he goes, and then it was okay for a little while, and then you jumped up and tore off all your clothes. And I thought my dog was going to be mad at you because you was eating his food. And so, yeah.
Probably a different Castaneda, but
That's Carlos Castaneda. Pretty for sure. Berkeley?
I don't know. Carlos. Huh.
Teachings of-
Oh, okay, so Castaneda was a real, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
The Yaqui, the man of knowledge, named Don Juan Matias. But when he searched all over, and he kept asking questions, and finally this Don Juan guy, he was like, okay, you want to know about it, let's go. So he feeds him full of stuff. He's got like a pouch around his neck at one point. He opens it up and dumps some into a pipe and says, here, try this. That's after he figures out that Don Juan is the guy he's been looking for, the big shaman. But at first, he kept saying, no, here, let's go to these other guys. And so he'd take him all over the place. He's got actually a lot of books.
Interesting.
And one of them, and I think it's the one that he actually smokes the mushrooms, because he's smoking like some sort of mushroom, South American mushroom. And he sees these great big grasshoppers and great big mushrooms, and he follows them out through the sage. He's got a whole bunch of books.
Check him out. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's ringing a bell now that Carlos Cesar Salvador Arana Castaneda. Interesting.
University of California, Berkeley, UCLA.
Yeah.
A separate reality.
Huh.
His first 3 books, The Teachings of Don Juan.
And he, so he, let me see here. In the 1990s, once again began to promote tensegrity, a group of movements that he had claimed had been passed down by 25 generations.
So Sean has got into the tensegrity.
It's kind of what it
Well,
sounds like.
Toltec were, 25 generations of Toltecs go back 2,500 years.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. There's some folks out there in there. Yeah, well, so anyway, long story short, looks like you got that one right. Tension
Did
members.
I get 100% on
I
that?
think you did.
Damn, it makes up for my freaking first bomb.
Are they still using steel when they're using the tensegrity?
Well, sure, but not necessarily. The tension cables on the most bridges are steel, yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna look at,
Is, didn't we have someone coming today?
Andrew McChain is gonna come and reveal all.
Is he bringing his generator? Or not?
I don't know. He didn't say he was, but doesn't mean he's not. This is correct, yeah, molecular efficiency.
Yes. I think he just.
Molecule.
Efficiency on there. Instead of molecule, it just should have been molecule, because it's a one answer thing.
That is correct, molecular efficiency.
So doing more with less, basically, right?
You know what, I don't think it's quite that. I think it's basically using every molecule for something. I mean,
Like
it's,
the oil industry.
yeah, I wouldn't quite say doing more with less. I would say doing everything you can with what you have.
Instead of wasting it.
Like, you know, your concrete pour, instead of going into the river, you've got a little, cement block maker, and you just, make a bunch of blocks with it instead, and
Yeah.
sell those,
Sell those
up the value. You got a bunch of guys sitting there waiting to pour your blocks for you. You should go check that thing out and bust those dudes. I would love it, man.
I'm not worried about busting them, I'm just going to film it. It shouldn't happen.
Is that like on south side of the river, like across from Mall Road?
I think
It would be the south side of the river.
South side? Oh, the place I'm thinking about is the north side of the river.
No, you go down, I believe you'll go across the river at Russell, go across Russell Bridge and take the first right.
Oh.
Come around the corner and there's like a little place that goes off, and there's like a big pond down in there too, like a big lake.
Yeah.
River Road is how you get there.
And so,
It could be that, so I know there's a plan to put in another wave, another engineered wave, like Brennan's wave. And it could be they're just like stockpiling concrete there to go in and, no?
no, it's been, you can tell it's been done for years.
Yeah.
Where is it that they're gonna do that?
I think right by Osprey Stadium.
Oh, okay.
There's a little boat ramp right there.
I was wondering where that was gonna be.
Molecular efficiency, 100% credit.
I still keep looking at your webcam. Where are you gonna set that webcam
Right on the bow of that observation deck.
at? In the bottom,
Um,
or out over the top?
Here, I'll-
Because you're gonna have people that can just reach up there and jump and hit that.
I know.
I was thinking, there's two big power poles right there.
We already explored that, and Northwestern Energy said, nah,
Maybe temporary.
negatory. And their reason or excuse or whatever is that if their guys come through and need to shimmy up that pole in a hurry, they'd be hampered by the camera.
Yeah.
Because they actually would climb that thing by hand, just manually.
That was the only thing that I could think of asking, but.
Yeah, we were looking at
Put
that.
another pole in there, right in front of them?
We looked at that too, but the camera we have was a free donation, so there's no invested cost. I mean, obviously there's a replacement cost, but, and I got a big old security nut. It's basically like a bolt head, and then the nut is like a kryptonite lock head, just got a bunch of little, you have to bring that one key-like nut to tighten the bolt. There's only one thing that'll tighten it, so.
I'm not talking about tightening the bolt, I'm talking about standing there and pulling knocks.
I know.
Hitting it with bat or
Yeah,
throwing the bike up at it, I mean, that's not very far off the ground.
sure, but, I mean, people could do that to the lamp post too, or the trash cans. I mean, I mean, there's no, I don't know how you,
Yeah, you're gonna get spray painted,
Yeah.
somebody spray paint your face, spray paint a player, just like stand there and
yeah. We will need a little plexiglass over the front, just pull that off and replace it, right? I mean, that's what we'll have to do with it, stick
I don't
it.
know, I just wanna go down there.
You want to go and mess with, you want to put peanut butter on it.
No, I only put peanut butter on door handles and other parts.
What am I looking at here? Wait. All I want to do is give you credit. 1920. Okay.
I do still have that peanut butter too, it's in this bag, I imagine it's really yeasty smell.
Probably a little rancid by now.
Still carrying around.
Yeah, I was actually pulling in, looking pretty black and sweaty.
I was right behind you. I was watching for you too, so. Whew, okay.